Now open Mary, Our Lady of Peace Mausoleum in Flushing, New York. Secure your family's future with 10% down, no taxes, and 0% interest financing for up to 10 years on pre-need crypts and cremation niches starting at just $25 per month. Protect your loved ones with the gift of pre-planning. Visit them today at Mount St. Mary Cemetery. Call 718-353-1560. That's 718-353-1560 or go to ccbklyn.org to learn more. That's ccbklyn.org.
Entertaining and informative.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
77 WABC.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales, and for someone else, but not for me. Our love was out to get me. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
Perfect song, Lou. I am a believer. I think we're going to win. And I am saying we. I don't want to hear this nonsense. You're a journalist. I'm not a journalist. I'm Sid. That's why I'm number one. People love me. They love me like Trump. They love me. They revere me. They go nuts. You had to see people yesterday stopping at this, on the movie set. Just stopping. You're in Staten Island. I'm coming for lunch, taking pictures. It was beautiful. Hey, I do want to thank Larry.
Larry Gordon.
Larry Gordon. Very good. Thank you, Justin.
You're welcome.
He's a great writer. He writes for the 5 Towns newspaper. Very Jewish. 5 Towns. Can you name the 5 Towns?
No.
Try it. Let me see.
I can't.
Just try.
I already know that I can't. And
just
I don't
name a couple at
I don't
least.
even know a couple.
Dickface. You never heard of Cedarhurst?
I actually have heard of Cedarhurst.
What about Woodmere?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I know these places, but I don't
can't
know that
believe
they're
you don't
one of
know
the 5
this.
towns.
I know you grew up in Chappaqua with Bill Clinton. I know that, but you don't know any of the 5 towns.
I'm very out of touch. I really only have space in my brain for the things that really
right.
matter.
I mean, and I say this with the utmost love and respect.
Yeah.
You know this.
Yeah.
But you're a very stupid man.
Yeah, well, yeah. No,
you are really stupid. And Adina, your mother, is a very smart lady.
I know. So where do I get it from? Must be my dad.
Yeah, that's a moron. There's no question.
That is an indictment on my
He's
father.
a moron. So Larry wrote this. I'm kidding about your dad. I don't even know him, but he may be stupid. Larry wrote this really great story in the 5 Towns newspaper, which he can't name any of these 5 towns, Justin, about my upcoming trip, our upcoming trip. Justin's coming with me to Israel, which will leave on Saturday. And everybody's talking about this trip. Even Margot Martin, who works with Trump, who texted me yesterday, and will, over the next few days, give me, it seems that way at least, the exact time that President Trump will be calling me on Monday, October the 7th, as we do the show live from just outside of Gaza. So Margot said, he wants to do it. You got to see his schedule. We'll figure it out. So odds are Trump will be on Monday, our first day in Israel. John McLaughlin is a big-time pollster. I think he's had Trump and Bibi, my 2 favorite leaders of all time, Trump and Bibi. That says a lot about you, John. You've had them both, right?
Sid, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yes,
Boy, your phone always eats ass. The last time, too. I mean, you're a big pollster for Trump and Bibi. Could you get a phone that's not a Motorola? No, he's gone altogether. That's it. Why does this happen with John every time? He's a big-time guy.
I don't know.
It's his phone, though. It's not our system.
Never our phone, no.
Try this again. He did have a couple of guests on the phone already today, and a few more are stopping by, including Bill O'Reilly. Hey, John, let's try this again. John, good morning. How are you? As soon as Dustin puts you on hold. Good morning, John. How are you?
I'm better. But what I was saying was I worked for Bibi from 03 to 22 through the last election, and he's doing a phenomenal job because in the past they've held him up. I mean, at times Obama was president, they wouldn't give him weapons, and now you see, Biden and Harris were trying to do the same thing where they're saying he needs to call a ceasefire. When you're winning a war against terrorists, it's not a good time to call a ceasefire.
Well, let me say this, because there are a ton of Jews, New York Jews, I can't stand them, and I'm Jewish, can't stand them. and they hold these rallies, these anti-Bibi rallies in Times Square. In Israel, in Tel Aviv, they get thousands of anti-Bibi people. But yesterday, John, you'll appreciate this, we had Caroline Glick on from JNS.org.
Right.
She's as good as as good as it gets, right, John? Mm-hmm. She said that the latest polls have Bibi so far out in front. Now, don't forget, there have been 5 elections over the last 5 years in Israel. Bibi's won 4 out of the 5. He nearly has won all 5. So this idea, because a couple of haters, Jews in Times Square or Tel Aviv gather by the thousands, that everybody hates Bibi, couldn't be more wrong. If the election was today in Israel, he would win by a landslide.
Yes. One of the first things when I went over there in '03, he said, "What do you know about Jewish voters?" I said, "Well, I'm from New York." And I was like, you should win because you just have 2 types of voters, Jews and Arabs over here. But they improvise. They fight among themselves. So it's like New York. So, but now they're united because they're coming together because they have to win. It's existential. And they don't have time because if Kamala Harris, God forbid, wins this election, they're in a really bad spot because, appeasing Iran has not worked.
No.
And that's put them exactly where they are. And that's why he needs Donald Trump. And Trump today, I wake up today and it's like I'm pinching myself. The Washington Post has a poll out today that they took. They closed it a couple days ago just before the hurricane. They got Trump up 2 in North Carolina. These are the same people that had us down 17 a week out in Wisconsin 4 years ago. We weren't down 17, but the polls are looking at the polls, and you go to the Real Clear Politics website of the media polls, and they have Trump at 281 electoral votes, winning Pennsylvania, winning Arizona, winning Georgia, winning North Carolina. I think they're off on Nevada. I think we can win Nevada. So, but they have 281 electoral votes. We need 270 to win.
Right.
This is 5 weeks out. This is totally different than 4 years ago when they were telling us we had a Biden blue wave. I was getting beat up. There's no way we can win. It's over. And 8 years ago, it was the Hillary Clinton lock where she was going to win. Even on Election Day, they were predicting her to win. The exit poll said she was going to win. And by the grace of God, Trump was able to win. And so the polls, maybe they're waking up that I think what's really going on is the Trump voters are fired up and really want to come out and vote. And, we still got a lot of work to do. You got 35 days, 5 weeks, and the early voting has started. Like in Pennsylvania, the Democrats have still requested absentees 2-1 over Republicans. So Republicans aren't going for the absentees. We need to get them. We need more Republicans to get their votes in. And the same thing in a lot of these states, the ground game, some of them, the mail is down. But when you look at the battleground states, like in North Carolina, the mail is down. And I tell you, the other thing that's going to hurt them is this hurricane in North Carolina, it's a lot worse than the media is portraying it.
Yeah.
It's just starting to come out. I mean, this is a couple days. Kamala Harris was out fundraising when she wasn't preparing.
And Trump, to his credit, he's in Georgia yesterday with these people who suffered through the hurricane. She puts out a picture of her like sweating over a piece of paper, and Trump called her out on it, and he's getting beat up over it, which is stupid at this point already. But you're right. They're actually finding people. My wife lived in Charlotte for the better part of 14 years. Mm-hmm. So her father still lives there. So we go back to visit her father, and we often stay at a place called the Grove Park Inn. It's a gorgeous place in Asheville, North Carolina. They're finding people, dead bodies in the trees in Asheville, John.
Yes, but it's worse. It's in other parts of the state still don't have power. I went on the way into the office, I stopped by the convenience store, and my friend George tells me his daughter in Greenville, which is out in eastern North Carolina, still doesn't have power.
I think that's why they don't have power. I think that's where they found Michael Jordan's father killed by the side of the road, I think. But, when you talk about all these states, these swing states, that only a couple of weeks ago were up for grabs, she was winning a couple, now we're seemingly winning all of them. I'll ask you this. She had the honeymoon period, John. She had it, black girl, woman, the whole thing, Trump, not a great debate, all that stuff, okay? And she blew it. That honeymoon period is over. He's gaining in the polls. There are no more debates for her to do anything anyway. So what can she possibly do over the next 5 weeks? Or for the Trump detractors who say that fans of Trump are liars, for the Trump detractors, what could he possibly do in her favor to change this? Because it seems to me like this is a downward spiral for Harris that she can't stop.
Well, we still have big media and big tech against us. The Media Research Center has done phenomenal studies about media bias with the big media, the big TV networks, and are overwhelmingly against Trump, like 9 out of 10 stories versus 9 out of 10 positive to her. And now you got the stories by the Media Research Center that Google is censoring us.
New Life Center NYC is a leading integrative med spa on beautiful Madison Avenue in the heart of New York City. New Life Center has been championing ageless living for over 25 years. Their expert team will design a personalized health and wellness program just for you, using cutting-edge technologies and specialized supplements. Experience the future of medicine at New Life Center. Call 917-723-8933 now to book your appointment. That's 917-723-8933. Call now to discover ageless living at New Life Center NYC.
Yeah, but this has been the case with Trump for 10 years. So we're still gaining the last month. We're gaining the last month despite all that.
Well, it's worse than ever. So we can't. It's 35 days. You have no idea how bad it's going to get. Yeah. Jack Smith is trying to get his brief out before the election. Right. I mean, even Judge Mershon gave up and pushed off sentencing until because he knew that would. Yeah,
but at this point, right? You just said it. Judge Mershon gave up. He's like, screw the sentencing. At this point, you think anybody cares what Jack Smith does? He's been proven to be a fool.
You never know what you asked. What are they going to do?
Yeah, there you go.
You asked, what are they going to do? Yeah. Desperate people do desperate things.
Yeah.
And right now, Donald Trump is grinding away. He's winning. He's on message. He forced her to go to the border and make a fool of herself after the border czar who wasn't there. And now, she's getting hit on. The campaign is going after her on taxes. President Trump in Uniondale, and you witnessed that speech because you were after President Trump, you were the biggest celebrity there.
That's true. And I was sitting in the front row right next to Bruce Blakeman.
Yes, yes. But in the meantime, he spoke to suburban voters across the country how she's going to raise your taxes. Trump is going to cut your taxes, whether it's tips on Social Security, on overtime. She's out there telling people that she's going to repeal the Trump tax cuts that will raise taxes on 91% of all people. She'll put capital gains on your retirement savings and on your home when you try to sell your home. And your income taxes are going to go up. And these corporate taxes, they're going small businesses. They're gonna drive small businesses out of business. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And people are getting that message. They're gradually getting it, and we've got to stay on offense over the next 35 days.
100%. Yeah, stay on offense. I don't care anymore. I don't care. Sorry. If he calls her mentally challenged, I don't care. This is what he does, okay, folks? How many times are we going to keep saying this? Stay on message, Donald. No, that's how he does. He does a lot of messaging, a lot, like 85%, but he's going to do his thing, and that's it, right? That's it. It's silly already. Enough with don't say this, don't say that. That's Donald Trump. That's how he gets 70 million votes. That's part of it, besides his policy. So now, tonight, you got this VP debate, J.D. Vance and Tim Walz. John McLaughlin as the best pollster in the history of the game. How much do you care about tonight's debate?
Well, I think it's important because it's another 3-on-1 match. I mean, the debate's going to be on CBS at 57th Street, and you're going to have Norah O'Donnell and you're going to have Margaret Brennan, who are known for their anti-Trump bias, together with Tim Walz. So Walz is trying to pull this out for Kamala Harris because she doesn't do any press conferences. So they're sending him out there. But both candidates represent who their top of the ticket is. Where Walz is as radical and as crazy about defunding the police. He didn't stop the riots in Minnesota. By the way, I believe we're going to win Minnesota. We're close in Minnesota, and I believe we're going to win because they're done with Ilhan Omar. They're done with the burning down police stations.
Yep.
And this guy, I don't know. People who honeymoon in China take trips on the Communist Party in China. I don't know about them being vice president. But J.D. Vance represents. I mean, he's a Marine. He went to Iraq. I mean, he's got a. Kamala Harris talks about being a middle class person. She grew up in a wealthy suburb, like in Montreal, and her parents were, PhDs. Though they may have split. But J.D. Vance, you talk about somebody coming up from working class roots.
But listen, I don't love him. I'm sorry, and I would tell Trump that right to his face. The childless cat lady thing was stupid. I know it was 4 years ago, and also a guy that called rape at one point an inconvenience. So for all those good things you're talking about with women, they don't like him. And if I was a woman, I wouldn't like him either. As much as Tim Walz is a doofus and a liar, this guy J.D. Vance is not exactly warm and fuzzy to the ladies out there. So I don't like either one of these guys, to be honest.
Well, it's a challenge tonight. I don't know why you didn't. I told President Trump they should have vetted you. They could have picked you, but, it
would have been the right move. They love me, the women. The ladies love Sid. The ladies can't get enough of Sid. I'm telling you, John, it would have been great. Now, I like Vance more than Walz, and Vance is, I think, is more prepared, and I do expect Vance to win tonight. But especially in a place like New York, Trump keeps saying, I'm going to win New York. Hey, Lee Zeldin, hey, Sid Rosenberg, get me New York. Tough with these Long Island suburban housewives to convince them that a guy that called rape an inconvenience is the right choice. Right?
We're winning the 5 towns. We are winning Nassau County right now. I can tell you that. I can tell you Anthony D'Esposito's winning. But, the Democrats are going to pull it all out. I mean, they've been outspending. You see all these attack ads about it. They're attacking them with innuendo as a police officer, et cetera. But it's like the Democrats are going to get desperate. It's going to be a wild 5 weeks to close this campaign.
But right now, as we close this great conversation, John McLaughlin, as always, fair to say that Trump is enjoying his best poll success maybe in 10 years and 3 elections right now.
Yeah, it's a lot better than it was 4 years ago and 8 years ago, but we're not done. We've got to run like we're behind. I mean,
right.
We have to do it. We got to watch the actual votes when they're coming in on the mail-in ballots, and then we got to make sure that when people can vote early, like in New York State on October 26th, get in line, go vote on the first day you can go vote.
I like what I'm hearing. That's it. Don't be complacent, folks. Go out there and make sure that our guy Donald Trump wins.
Exactly.
As always, John McLaughlin, great job. Great to have you back. We will talk quite a bit over the next 5 weeks. 5 weeks from today is Election Day. John, thank you so much.
Thank you.
My man, John McLaughlin right there, the great pollster, Donald Trump, Bibi Netanyahu, and many others along the way.
Janine Pirro here for Colonial Metals Group. Colonial Metals Group helps Americans protect their future with the most trusted store of wealth in human history. Physical gold and silver. If you're retiring or retired, go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/Pirro for your free Janine Pirro Colonial Metals Group Retirement Protection Kit, or call 800-965-8004. 800-965-8004 now to receive a free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver.